The secret is that you have more power in your own results than you think you do. I think most people are like, oh, there's not enough quality men out there. We hear this all the time. There's just not enough out there. All the good men are taken, all the good women are taken, and there's this scarcity mindset that there's just nothing there.
Hello, hello. Welcome to the Asian Dating Podcast. Thank you for joining me today. As you know, I help single women just like you go from frustrated with dating to having a positive, unfair advantage dating strategy. So no matter how experienced you are, I would love to help you out. And I also help single men out there who want to date Asian women who gets 1 to 2 matches a month without wasting your time or getting rejected online. That's what I do, is help men find lovely Asian women. Today we have Julie Omole, and she is a certified life and relationship coach and the owner of Eli Simone LLC, a boutique matchmaking and coaching firm for bold, brilliant, beautiful Black women. Trained at both the Matchmaking Institute and Relationship Coaching Institute, Julie has learned that the ability to love and be loved is one of the strongest forces of nature, yet one of the most overlooked and underrated life goals. I totally believe that, Julie. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing amazing. Thank you for having me.
So tell the audience a little bit about how long you've been doing this and what drove you to dip your toes in the dating industry.
Yes. So I have been in business, I want to say for about 13 years, about 10 to 13 years. Sometimes I forget how many, but it's double digits. And I originally started because I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur and to have a business of my own, but I didn't really know what it is that I wanted to do. And so I was having a conversation with my sister, and she says, you're always giving really good advice to me and our friends about relationships. And it's always rational, and it's never coming from a judgy place. And so why don't you do something like that? So I kind of took that as, oh, maybe I should go be a therapist. Maybe I should go be a counselor. And she's like, that's not what I wanted you to get out of the conversation. I think you should be a matchmaker. And I was like, what? What is that? And so she's like, yeah, you should be a matchmaker. You can help, women like me find their matches. And at first I kind of, I was just like, I'm not going to do that. But the more that I actually researched the industry, and I found that people who looked like me were not being served, I was like, okay, this is an opportunity for me to not only make a difference, but to get into a business that is sort of, recession proof. There's never going to be a loss of people not wanting relationships. We could be in a tsunami and people are like, where's my person? So, I just thought, let's try it. And I've been doing it ever since.
I love it. I love it. I mean, when you say our industry is recession proof, it really truly is. I mean, it didn't matter in 2007, 2008 that things slowed down. People were still looking for love, right? And in 2020, people are still looking for love all the time. So it's like, no wonder we can collaborate with all these other matchmakers and dating coaches, because there is a lot of business out there for all of us. So
for sure.
So it's interesting that you said when you were researching what you were going to do, and that you didn't see someone represent what you are or what you look like. So that's kind of how I fell into my niche, is I want to support the Asian women. I want to help the Asian women. So is that kind of why you want to help the beautiful, bold Black women?
Yeah, that's exactly right. When you look at matchmaking, of course, everyone saw the television show. It was geared towards a certain demographic. It was male dominated, rich, and, mainstream. And they were looking for women who were also, a certain type, a very small demographic of women. But everybody wants and deserves love. right? And so I said, well, where am I represented in this? Where are women and men who look like me represented in this? We also want love and to find our partner. And so when I was doing my research, I was just like, I don't see too many businesses that specifically focus on someone like me. And when I mean that, I mean women.
Yeah.
Women, it's not one of those things where we're like going out and looking for female clients. And so I said, well, that'll be me. I want them to feel like someone was looking out for their interests.
Yeah. So what was the most surprising thing that you found since being in the business for over 10
Oh,
years? Like, what is one thing that you're like, I never thought this was going to happen, or I didn't know about it, but now all of a sudden you're like, wow, this is a true secret that no one knew about and that you can reveal to me.
yeah. Oh my goodness. The secret is that you have more power in your own results than you think you do. I think most people are like, oh, there's not enough quality men out there. We hear this all the time. There's just not enough out there. All the good men are taken, all the good women are taken, and there's this scarcity mindset that there's just nothing there. The dating pool is trash. Everybody is just, and it's such a external thing, and we blame it on just a lack thereof. But the surprising thing is, it's not about that. It's about what are you doing to reach your own goals? Are you getting in your own way? And most of the time it's them getting in their own way. So I've been, maybe for the last 3 or 4 years, trying to switch that mindset and stop them from the gate and saying, stop blaming other people, stop blaming your state, city, stop blaming, apps, stop blaming social media. The only thing that you can control is yourself.
Yeah.
And so once we can start controlling the narrative and controlling your thought process when it comes to dating and relationships, the sooner you will start to see the results and what you want to see in your experience.
So what are some things that you teach your female clients to get to the end result of finding someone great when
Yeah.
they come to you and have that scarcity mindset? Like, there aren't any great guys out there. They're all losers. We're the great guys. They're all paired up. Like, how
Yeah.
do you teach them to have a different mindset?
I teach people to dig deeper.
Okay.
We get so wrapped up in aesthetics. We get wrapped up in money. We get wrapped up in height, weight. Do they fit a size 6? Are they wearing a size 12 shoe? Are they wearing the right, driving the right car? Can they afford the lifestyle that I want to lead? Can they give me, that's from a woman's perspective, and from a man's perspective, would she look good on my arm? Would she make me look good? It's all about these superficial desires that don't speak to who we are as humans and who we are as people, and saying, what is it that you actually need? Like, if you were on your deathbed, do you care about these things that you're saying you want? Or do you want someone who's really willing to be there and help you and nurture you and all this thing? So I always ask them, what are they looking for? Because I want to know if they have gone deep enough. And if I know that they're still at the aesthetic level, the superficial level, I say go deeper. Who are you really, outside of all the trappings and all the glitz and and the gold? Who are you at the core? And what does that person want?
So what if they don't know? What if they don't know what to tell you? What if they haven't
Yeah.
really examined that within themselves? Like, what kind of questions do you ask them that makes
Yeah.
them think about it and have an aha
Yeah.
moment?
Yeah. So I usually ask them, what is the top two reasons why you feel like you haven't gotten the results that you're looking for. And I ask, and if they start to say, well, it's all external reasons, I'll say, well, let's talk about the things that you yourself can control. What are some things that you feel like you are holding yourself back on? And so once they start to say, okay, let me think a little bit harder about what I'm doing. And so they'll start saying, well, I don't give people a chance. I'm too busy to go out. Once someone triggers me, it's a wrap, it's over. I don't go out. So all of these things they'll start to tell me are the reasons why they haven't found the results that they have. And I said, okay, are you willing to do something different at this time? Are you capable of doing something different? If you are not, are you really ready? Because you may want it, but are you ready for it? Those are two separate things. So sometimes what you want, you might not be ready for. And then I say, well, that's probably why you haven't gotten it.
Right, right.
So just starting with those questions that get past the superficial and start digging into who they are at the core.
Right. So what are some things that women say that holds them back, that they can't move forward, or that they can't focus on the men?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Trust is huge. You have a lot of burned people out there, and not just in relationships. I mean, from childhood. There's a lot of unresolved issues that they have either not addressed, don't want to address, or decide that I'm just going to push through, not realizing that it's affecting their relationships with who they want to be with. So a lot of unresolved childhood issues and some dating experiences where they're like, I want someone who doesn't want me. The people that I want don't want me back. So they start to get insecure about that, or they try to conform to what the people that they want. And I say, if you have to conform to someone to be someone else to attract who you want, it's not sustainable, and you're only going to get frustrated. So those are some of the things that I'm hearing from women. And the other thing is, I just don't have the time. We're out here lifing, like we're buying homes and we're taking trips and we're becoming CEOs of businesses. We have kids. It's a lot of things going on. And like I said, people want the story. They want the storybook, 2.5 kids and a picket fence and a dog, but they don't know what it takes to get there, because they can't see the vision, they can't see the steps, and so they don't know what to do about it.
Yeah, I know. So do you take on men for coaching clients as well?
I do. It's a lot less popular. Men do not want to hear from women when it comes to relationships. It's a thing. Like, I think they would rather talk to their guy friends. They would rather talk to anybody but a woman. And I understand there's a vulnerability there. And there's, men who've been taught not to show weakness, and especially in front of a woman, because they feel like it's going to be weaponized against them. So I definitely understand why. But I do have some brave souls who are like, what am I doing wrong? Usually it's the socially awkward ones.
Okay.
Not anything else. I mean, some people, they're like, I'll fake it till I make it. But the socially awkward ones, who they know they're socially awkward, they're like, okay, tell me what I need to do.
And do you have a lot of success with the socially awkward, or?
Socially awkward is difficult. I can help men and women who, maybe have other blocks, but socially awkward, that's something that sometimes I'm not equipped to help them with. Sometimes they need someone with, like a therapist or a counselor, or, someone else in tandem. with me. So I can help them with some techniques. I can help them with some, this is what you do if this happens, being present and, paying attention to the person and all that good stuff. But there are some deeper issues that I can't touch that I'll suggest, okay, let's work in tandem with maybe like a professional.
Mhm. I feel like the socially awkward men that I have, or introverted men, or inexperienced men, not a whole lot of dating experience, not a whole lot of sexual experience. I feel like those are the type of guys that are very coachable in the sense that they are
Hmm.
very hungry to learn.
Yes.
They really want to
Yes.
know, like, okay, I'm getting some special guidance. And sometimes the introverted, socially awkward men want to also date a woman who's a little bit quieter, socially awkward,
Yes.
bookworm, so I think it
Yes.
just takes a certain person to bring them out of their shells. I do encounter quite a bit of socially awkward, inexperienced men,
Mhm.
and I feel like it's just practice, practice, practice really helps
Mhm.
them, and
Yeah.
to get them on dates and to coach them and talk to them. We've
Mhm.
had a lot of success with that, but I can see it being tough. I feel like I don't know any African American man who is socially awkward. I feel like they
Oh.
so like hip and so knowledgeable about stuff and confidence. And that's why I don't have a lot of Black men that come to me that want to date, because I feel like they can just find women on their own. Or is that my total stereotype?
Well, so you're not wrong. I think especially, the Black men, the usually the only ones that come to me feel that they can't get what they want on their own.
Mhm.
So they are willing to, utilize this type of service in order to get what they want. And I find that the men that hire me have a bit of social awkwardness to them, because I feel like if they had the charisma, the personality, the, being comfortable in their own skin and around other people, they'd find someone just like that.
Yeah.
But there is a block there somewhere that says I'm not comfortable, being myself around beautiful women or the type of women that I'm looking for. I don't know what to say. So they would come to me saying, I want you to fix this problem. I have a problem and I want you to come fix it. So you're absolutely right. Having them to just kind of change their idea of dating and saying you can totally tailor dating to what fits for you. Whatever you enjoy, that's how you go date. If your personality comes alive when you're, I don't know, gaming or hiking or kayaking or bowling, whatever that is, find someone who would like that.
Yeah.
Find, because they get to see you in your best self.
Mhm.
So, and I give that advice to everyone, but mostly to the ones who are a bit socially awkward and aren't really comfortable um, in their skin around new people, is that you have to put yourself in a position where you shine and you're not worried about how I look, what am I going to say, what are they, if they have a reaction to what I say. If you're so busy having an amazing time, none of that matters.
I totally agree. I mean, someone who is a little bit shy, a little bit socially awkward, like they just need to do three things. They need to find what they like to do, right? Like their hobby, their interests, and then two, shine when they're doing this event. And there's
Mhm.
always other women that like this specific hobby that
Yes.
they like. So I
Yes.
agree. And three, just go for it. Just
Yeah.
go for it and just be out there and be yourself. And I know we're so sick of hearing, just be authentic, be
Yeah.
authentic. It's like, yes, be authentic, but just, it is true. Just go out there,
Yeah.
be yourself, and the right woman would be attracted to the energy that you're exuding while you're
Yes. Yeah.
bowling, while you're gaming, while you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, while you're, I don't
Yes.
know, whatever that is. I totally agree. I feel like there is
Yeah.
lid for every pot.
Yes. And you hit something, a nail on the head. I think you said something like, oh gosh, I lost it now. But everybody says, oh, be authentic, be yourself, and that's so cliche. But think about how rare that is
Yeah.
for you to be your full self and not care what anybody says. We're not all our social media profiles.
Right.
You know, we're not this curated person that only has positive things going for ourselves that can fit a perfect outfit in 2.5 seconds. Like, we're corny, we're quirky, we've got things that, you know, we kind of don't want everyone to see. It's those things that make us unique that help attract the right people to us. So I think the more people accept that who you are 100% is okay, and you can show all of that, because that's going to help you find your people. And I
Yeah.
love that you said that, because it's so true.
So, Julie, what are some things that you are quirky about, or you are a little unique about, that might bring forth your unique, authentic personality? Like, what are some
Yeah.
different sides of you that you show to your friends and family that they know about that we might not necessarily know upon meeting you?
You know, that's a very, very good question. I think a lot of people, the feedback that I've gotten from a lot of people is like, sometimes you come off as a diva, or you come off as, you know, someone who, I mean, not snobbish, but just like, I don't know. It's just, you just come off as very like polished. But I really am not. I like karaoke. I like singing show tunes at the top of my lungs. I can probably sing every, you know, 90s television theme song, from, you know, the Jeffersons to, you know, I don't know, jam. Like, there's so many things that I just, you know, in the privacy of my home, or with my real friends, or, you know, close friends, I'm very silly. I'm very, you know, I just like to have a good time. I like to make people laugh. And so I feel like the world is a stage, and I'm just on it all the time. So I would say that people don't get to see that part of me, but I don't mind sharing it. I think that, um, yeah, I just really like singing, dancing, performing in some way. So, you know, I'll do run cartwheels if I'm having a good day. If I'll skip along the road if, I'm having a good day. And, you know, most people don't get to see that, but that's probably the most quirky thing about me.
Okay. Okay. See, that little tidbit can just be someone's dating profile. Like, if they just make a video
Yes.
on what they're quirky about or what their fascination with certain things, I mean, that's
Yes.
really showing people your true self and really
Yeah.
showing a little bit about you that you normally wouldn't show other people. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love that you said that about especially dating apps. I feel like we need to start, and this is going to sound really weird, start humanizing ourselves, because we get so polished. We've got the perfect photo, we've got the perfect profile, we've got the call to action, we've got all of these amazing things. And people are like, okay, you're a bot, because nobody's that perfect. But if you just kind of bring it down and, you know, humanize yourself to say, I've got flaws, I've got quirks, I do this, and, you know, I enjoy doing like really silly things over the weekend. Other people will be like, I like that too. I do that too. And so it starts to kind of like, you know, push the layers away and get to the real people, which is what we all want at the end of the day, is to be with someone real. But if we're so polished, especially on social media, you never really get to see that.
I totally agree. That's why I am so excited that AI is out. You know, people are using Chat
Yeah.
GPT. People are going to sound all alike on these online dating
Yes.
profiles. And I
My
can't
gosh,
wait,
yes.
because they're going to be like, I want to hire a matchmaker, because a matchmaker can really dissect what's going on and see if somebody
Yes.
is well spoken or if they're a little awkward. I feel like videos are the way to go with that. Like, you can truly
Yeah.
capture someone's essence about them if they just
Yes.
speak, whether they're shy or awkward or confident on a video.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
who knows? I mean, who
Yeah.
knows what all the AI is going to do to our industry? What do you think about the AI
I
and stuff, and do you use it?
I don't. And I'm nervous to use it because I feel like we're, to your point, we're all going to start to sound the same. We're all going to sound so polished, so it's like, where is the uniqueness? Where is what makes you you? Honestly, I feel like all of the profile pictures, I don't know what's AI or not anymore.
Right.
Honestly. And so I feel like people, it started with filters and now it's going to just go to AI. And
Yeah.
so, the AI technology is going to get even more better, even more refined to the point where you don't know if this person's AI or the real person. So it makes it kind of scary, that we will be leaning more and more on an auto-generated human than who we are as, ourselves. So that is scary. So I just feel like go outside, just go outside. Yes, the social media dating apps are tools and they are amazing, but please go outside.
Yeah.
Please go meet someone and get back to the basics, because that's who you really are going to meet at the end of the day.
Is that kind of what you teach your women and your men, is just to go back to the basics and start a
Yes.
conversation with a stranger when you're out and about? Like, what are some tips
Yeah.
that you can give
Yeah.
the audience?
Yeah, so I actually have almost like a pyramid,
Okay.
where at the core is just our social skills. Do you have social skills where you can walk into, a bakery and strike up a conversation with a stranger?
Mhm.
If you can do that comfortably, you're ready to get to the next level where you're dating, because you don't want to get ready when you have to. You want to be so comfortable at interacting with strangers that when you actually want to talk to someone that you find attractive or that you think that you want to date, you can just almost like, it's muscle memory to go up and strike a conversation. So once you have your social skills, then you have your dating skills, and now we talk about our intimacy skills. Like, what skills do we need to create that deep connection with our real partners? And that takes practice and that takes skills. So I always kind of say, if you can do this, all right, let's get to the next level. If you can do this, let's get to the next level. And by the time you have started practicing all of those skills, you're dangerous.
So you're
You're
saying
dangerous.
that someone shouldn't be dating if they're not comfortable talking to a stranger when they walk into a store. If they don't
No,
have
I'm
that basic skill, then they shouldn't be dating yet?
no, I don't
Oh,
want them, I don't want anyone thinking that. What I'm
oh,
saying is I want you to build those foundational skills, because it'll only help you when you're dating. So
mhm.
you can practice on your date, but you also need to be practicing to just random people. Like,
Right.
you can have a date on Saturday and say, okay, well, what am I going to ask him? What am I going to say? What am I going to do? Are we going to have things to talk about? If you are nervous about that,
Yeah.
start practicing on people. So you can do both. It's just, if you really want to be dangerous, start building those foundational skills.
So that's a good tip, that someone who maybe needs date practice, they just go around talking to strangers so they're comfortable talking to men and women. There's nothing wrong with that,
Yes.
right? Just
Yes.
get in the habit of talking to
Mhm.
people.
Yep.
Okay.
And you get to, kind of, and like comedians before they get that real lifetime special, they're in the clubs and they're working on material and say, that didn't work. Let me scratch that on out. That didn't work. And they keep practicing in some of these other clubs, practicing their material. And I'm not saying you have a script or material, but what
Right.
I'm saying is, liken it to, someone who practices in their everyday life so that when they're ready for the big show, they're comfortable.
So who is your favorite comedian and what is
Mm,
your sense of humor like? Because I truly believe that if you watch funny things, you become funny, you become witty, you can adapt
yeah,
to whatever your comedian idol is and kind of have
yeah.
that same sense of humor. So, what are some things that's made you who you are, and what kind of sense of humor do you have?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question, May. Well, first of all, my favorite comedian is the late Bernie Mac.
Oh,
Um, and then after that, Dave Chappelle.
okay.
And the reason why is they were both great storytellers.
Mm,
Like
mhm.
you can follow their almost to where you're just hearing them speak and they're just funny along the way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's my favorite type of comedian, where they're not like just doing punchlines and punchline after punchline, but they're giving you a story.
Mhm.
There's an arc to it. And so they're just incredibly masterful at storytelling. And not to say that that's me at all, but I just enjoy that type of person where they can take me through a story and then have some jokes, in it along the way. Now where did I get my personality? um, I've always naturally enjoyed making people laugh and smile because I was very shy as a kid. And I was very insecure. I was very skinny. I was very dark. And so I was just like, oh, no one's gonna like me, no one, everyone's gonna like bully me. And so I said, okay, in order to defend myself, I'm just gonna be funny.
Yeah.
So as long as they're laughing with me, they're not going to be laughing at me. So I just naturally tried to be funny and mentally saying, okay, that didn't work. Won't do that again. And then I'll try something else. Oh, that got some laughs. So I'll keep doing that. And so I sort of was the funny girl until you grow up and then you start to get your womanly body and all that, and said, oh, okay, well, I'm attracted now. Okay. So, but what I loved about my journey is because I felt like an ugly duckling when I was younger, I had to have a personality. I had to have something else that caught people so that now when I get all dolled up, okay, that might hook you in, but what's going to keep you and what's going to make you stay is my personality. So I do find that I was lucky in that I was the ugly duckling first. I think it's harder when people have always been attractive, like since they were young, because they're like, oh my God, you got so much attention. You got for doing absolutely nothing. Like this was your calling card. This was your business card, right? So you never had to strengthen and beef up your personality. So when you don't get your way, or when things don't go your way, you're not, it's just like, well, what do you mean? I'm me. What do you mean I'm not going to get the girl? What do you mean I'm not going to get the guy? Like, you see this face? So, I find that people who may have had that benefit or that privilege since they were young have a harder time because it gets them to the door. But do you have anything that's going to make them stay? That's a yes or no.
I mean, to piggyback on what you said, I totally agree because I also feel like the shorter guys try harder because they've had
Yeah.
to. And the taller
Yes.
guys that are like 5'10, 5'11, 6 and
Oh
up,
my God.
they
The
don't have to
worst.
try as hard because they've always
Yeah,
had
yeah,
so much
for
attention.
sure.
But,
For
you
sure.
know, I know we're time is coming to an end here, but just to wrap it up, I love the fact that you said that, like, oh, I was an ugly duckling before, and that's why you had to strengthen your personalities. But for everybody listening out there right now, you are probably single. You are probably wanting to fine tune your personality, no matter how popular you are. Like,
Yes.
take the time to be more interesting. And to be more
Yes.
interesting, you have to have a lot of interests. So if you're
Yes.
boring and you can't rattle off 5 things that you're excited about, then you're probably boring. And that's probably why you don't have a lot of action on the dating front. But Anyway, Julie, any last parting words from you to the audience? Any last dating tips? What do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I would just say being you is the best thing that you can be, but you can always be a better you. So continue to grow, continue to learn, continue to explore new experiences that will make you such a well-rounded person that's incredibly attractive to a multitude of people. So if you're single and you're looking, be interesting. Like they said, be interesting, have something to talk about, have a point of view. And that's not going to happen unless you get out there and start learning and growing.
Well, Julie Omole, how would people find you if there's a lovely African American woman wanting to meet you, work with you? How would they
Yeah.
go about getting in touch with you?
Yep. So I am on Facebook under Eli Simone. I also have a website, elisimone.com. And I am also on Instagram under Julie Double O.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much, Julie, for your time. And ladies out there, if you're looking to be part of my database, I would love for you to go to twoasianmatchmakers.com, fill out a profile. I would love to set you up, find you a great guy. And men, if you're free out there and you want to finally meet a lovely woman, please fill out my contact form at twoasianmatchmakers.com and see you guys later. Bye.